I've smoked for so long and so many cigarettes, what's the use in quitting now? That is a comment that I used to get often when people were first joining up in the Stop Smoking Clinic. It's comments I see frequently on online support sites now, that people come up with what they think is the rational answer of why they shouldn't bother even quitting smoking because of all the damage that they've done. Now, I got to point out that most of the times when I hear this comment, when it was in live programs, because I could see the people. See, online, it's sometimes harder to do this, but in live programs, most of the time when I was hearing this comment, it wasn't people coming in who were on oxygen tanks and being wheeled in by family members who were too feeble to do anything at all. They were going to be dead in a matter of weeks or days or maybe hours, and these are not the people making the comment. They were people coming in under their own power who sometimes they may have had oxygen, but no, not most of the times. Most of the times they were relatively functional. They were doing most things pretty well. They were sustaining their work, and they had family lives, and we're not talking about pulmonary cripples. We're not talking about people who were end-stage cancers. I'm not talking about people who were stroke victims who couldn't talk and somebody else was, communicating for them. No, these were people who basically were okay. They may have had breathing problems. They may have had some difficulties, but they were still functioning and they were still doing pretty well considering. And yet, they were using the fact that they've smoked so long and so much that they didn't really think there was any good cause to quit smoking now. Okay, first, let's say the person who's making the comment has been diagnosed with a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. They've got emphysema. They're having troubles. If they quit smoking, they pretty much stop the future destruction that every single drag they were going to take on every single cigarette was going to do. They were basically working with limited lung capacity now. They were still functioning. They're still able to get around. They're still able to do a lot. As much as they should have been able to do if they never smoked? No, they've got limitations. But they're still functional. Every puff they were going to take with every subsequent cigarette, if they did not stop, was going to destroy more and more lung tissue, which was actual breathing capability. And every puff that was destroying this capability was permanently taking out this tissue. It was never going to come back, meaning they were going to get significantly worse and worse and worse with every puff they were taking. They had the strongest reasons in many ways to quit smoking because of what they already had been diagnosed with, again, was guaranteed to get worse with every puff they were taking. If they'd quit smoking, they would stop the progression that the future smoking would have caused. Now, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't get worse as they would get older, because aging itself takes out some lung tissue, but it's slow in contrast to what the cigarettes would be taking out. If we're dealing with people who are making the comment, though, who haven't even been diagnosed, they're just working on how long they've smoked and how much they smoked. And I got to point out, some of the people making the comments to me, they were relatively young and didn't have any sign of disease, and yet they were using that as their reason for not quitting smoking. Forget it. When you're making this comment, you are rationalizing your smoking. You're trying to come up with an excuse that legitimizes sustaining your addiction. You're protecting your addiction. Well, you may be protecting your addiction, but understand something. Your addiction was never protecting you. Your addiction was killing you, and it would continue to kill you if you give it the opportunity. The sooner you quit, the sooner you stop the damage that smoking was causing, and your body will start to heal in many ways. Even if you have been diagnosed with a pulmonary disease, your cilia will start to regenerate. While you won't grow lung tissue, you will be able to clean your lung out better and more efficiently, making the lung tissue you have work more efficiently. If you've been diagnosed with cancer already, by quitting smoking, you have a better chance of being able to survive the therapies, the treatments, and a better chance of beating the cancer. Again, it's another case where sustaining smoking is pretty much undercutting your ability to basically be treated and possibly cured. No reason that you can come up with is going to be legitimate when it comes to health and smoking. The sooner you quit, the better opportunity you have of sustaining the health that you have now and getting healthier over time and stopping the destruction that was going to, again, guarantee a worsening of your health continuing until basically cigarettes would very likely take your life. The way to reduce your risk of all these things, no matter how much you smoked and no matter how long you smoked up to this point, the way to reduce the risk of future problems is now still making and sticking to a personal commitment to never take another puff.